Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, January 23rd, 2018. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Strong concerns have been expressed over the drugs administered to former fashion model Yogi Ferrell, who was recommitted on Monday for another week at a mental health institution. On Boom FM this morning, lawyer K. Bacchus-Batiste, in reading sections of the Mental Health Act, said that the administration of drugs to the 22-year-old Otley Hall resident at a mental health care facility is in violation of her rights. Ferrell was first sent to the mental health institution for 2 weeks observation on Friday, January 5th, for using abusive language on senior counsel in the Attorney General's office, Karen Duncan Gonsalves. At her follow-up court appearance on Monday morning, a decision was taken by Senior Magistrate Ricky Burnett for Ferrell to spend another week at the facility. Bacchus-Batiste said she could understand why Burnett, who was new on the case, would have decided that Ferrell spend another week at the facility for further evaluation. However, she is not in agreement with the drugs reportedly administered to the former fashion model. Bacchus-Batiste also questioned why the medical evaluation report for Ferrell was only given to the Director of Public Prosecution and not also to the lawyer for the accused, Yogi Ferrell.
I am saying that even that report is ultra vires because the medical exam.
What do you mean when you say ultra vires?
Outside the scope of what the authority of the law prescribes.
Okay.
Because the medical director went beyond
way
the
beyond
of the law. It says, and you know, many people have been even raising the point without even having to go to the law. They say if you send somebody for evaluation, how you pumping drugs into them?
Tell me.
Because at that point, what you have to do is to make an examination to consider whether the person is suffering from a mental disorder and the need of treatment. You make that report to the court, and the court will then determine. I'll go on to say what the section says the court should do. But before I even do that, I wanted to say that first of all, it is the director who should make this report. Secondly, it should be made to the court. But here we have that director sending that report to the Director of Public Prosecution, but not to the defense. Right away, we see bias. Absolutely. Mr. Grant Cornell did not get a copy of that report from the medical examiner, from the director. But the director saw it fit to send it to the DPP. Do you realize how egregious that is?
What does this mean? What does this mean? Continuing to violate our rights?
The rights. You're violating. You're not going according to law. You're doing your own thing.
Bacchus-Batiste further questioned the qualifications of the doctor who signed the medical report while Ferrell was under 2 weeks evaluation at the mental health facility.
It's even worse, you know. I am questioning the qualification of this person who made that report. You send someone to a psychiatric hospital, that's what the law says. It therefore assumes that a psychiatric hospital will have a psychiatric doctor to look after the patient. You cannot take an ordinary doctor with no training. And this is what the DPP was excusing in court. And now we see how serious it is. Because when you look at pre-committal Yogi and post-committal Yogi, completely different. There is something wrong. So I say, first of all, it should not have been sent to the Director of Public Prosecution. Certainly, if you're going to do that as a courtesy, you send it to the defense also.
But Senator?
Secondly, it should have been made by the director, who should really be a trained psychiatrist.
The opposition senator is adamant that the drugs administered to Ferrell may have caused some alteration to Ferrell's behavior displayed in court on Monday.
Should not have been pumping her with drugs. They have given her 3 drugs.
Serious
all
drugs.
of them very serious, which alters the chemistry in the body. I can read it out. I research them, and I have the 3 drugs, and they make you want to twitch. You see how she's behaving? Twitching up and making that? The drugs are supposed to do that. They alter the chemistry of the body. So they went beyond it. Not 1 drug, 3 drugs.
Dangerous drugs.
3 drugs. Was it any wonder she behaved like that? In light of what happened yesterday, I don't want to cause alarm, but that girl life could be over and she could stay in that mental health legally now because she's there. And the law goes on to say that that I could find it back and read it, but the law goes on to say that whereas what happened yesterday, she is now sent back. She belonged to them. They can determine whether she stays there for the next 10 years before they send her back to the court.
Opposition Member of Parliament for West Kingston, Daniel Cummings, also questioned the authorization of drugs administered to the Otley Hall resident, who is one of his constituents.
I go before the court and they determine that I have a medical condition, so they send me to Milton Keaton Memorial Hospital. Which doctor has the authority to administer any kind of treatment on me unless I or a family member give authorization? My understanding, that's standard practice. Here you have the case of administering treatment in the case of mental illness. It's a very serious matter, you know, especially when you have people who are not competent to make that determination, and they go beyond their powers and not only make the evaluation but administer treatment. I mean, that is violating the person's right in an extreme manner.
Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves, on the other hand, has expressed confidence in the healthcare being administered at the mental health institution. His comments on Star FM today were in reference to statements made by lawyer and opposition Senator K. Bacchus Batiste and opposition Member of Parliament Daniel Cummings that unsuitable care is being administered to former fashion model Yogi Ferrell. PM Gonsalves described the allegations made by the opposition members as salacious and irresponsible. He is of the view that the opposition is using the Yogi Ferrell case to score political points and described this as disgusting.
Want to mount a campaign for political advantage on the backs of this young lady. It's something which is disgusting. And I think people like Daniel Cummings and K. Bacchus should be ashamed of themselves. I want to repeat, I listen to them, and they want to take political advantage of this young lady by seeking this advantage on the backs of this young lady. And we should stop it. It's not dignified, it is not proper, it is wrong. The NDP doesn't understand this. They have gone this road before, you know. Repeatedly. And the twistings and the tell a lot of lies. You may seek to run a political campaign on commerce, on innuendo. But at the end of the day, people are judging you as to if you can run a government. You can't run a government on commerce and innuendo. You have to run a government on policies and programs and execution. Yes. That's why they continue to lose.
PM Gonsalves, who is also Minister of Legal Affairs, pointed out that as a patient at the mental health facility, it is only normal for Farrell or anyone to be given medication if it is necessary.
I don't know if she has been administered drugs, but I would imagine that if you are in the mental hospital and an assessment is made from all sorts of facts and circumstances that you need a particular drug, that the drug is administered, and I'm quite sure if any drug has been administered, that it would be administered. It would have been administered by the medical practitioners in the interest of the patient.
Okay.
You know, I can't talk about the pharmaceutical properties of this or that drug.
Right.
I don't know what has been administered, if anything. Incidentally, to the best of my knowledge, the medical report, which was signed by this medical doctor with postgraduate psychiatry training, as much as I could say, the person who signed the letter the doctor who signed the report to the court, as far as I understand, is a medical doctor with postgraduate psychiatry training.
PM Gonzalez lambasted the opposition for trying to discredit the qualifications of the current psychiatrist at the mental health facility.
The report wasn't ready, but enough was said in the court to make it plain to everybody that she has a mental problem and that she needs treatment. She doesn't just need simple observation. And that is when she went to the mental hospital in the first case, when the magistrate sent her there first. Does anybody know who are the persons who saw her? Which professionals saw her? Which professionals made the assessment of her? The person who signed the medical report, she has a particular authority by being a medical practitioner. But more than that, they don't know the qualification of this doctor. I've been advised that this doctor has postgraduate training in psychiatry. Do they know if there was consultation with other doctors, including persons who are in the country who are trained in psychiatry? Do they know all of these things, or any of them?
And opposition leader Dr. Godwin Friday said it is unfortunate that the government cannot concentrate on the issue of the country's economy as the saga involving former fashion model Yogi Ferrell continues to unfold. Speaking on the NDP's New Times radio program on Monday, Dr. Friday said whilst the issue is one of concern, the government needs to be focused on the needs of the people of SVG, adding that the current scandal is hampering their ability to do so.
Arose, and it's justified because it's a serious matter of how the system is functioning in this case. But I think the important point, another important point, is that we have all these serious matters that are happening also in the economy, and naturally we want that the government focus, especially as we approach a budget, on dealing with these matters, but they can't. Because this scandal has arisen because of the matter of how Yogi Ferrell is being treated by the court system, the concerns that we have about her own welfare and the way in which the justice system is treating her. These are serious natural concerns, and they must be addressed now. I mean, it's very important that the government also address the issues that are affecting people in their daily lives.
Dr. Friday added that Ferrell, who is at the center of the scandal, is a human being and her well-being must be taken into consideration at all times.
Shows that the system works fairly for everybody, and the perception is there that this is not happening in this case. And whatever happens going forward now, everybody has to be alert as to what is happening, to make sure that that perception is if it is borne out, that it is that everything is done to ensure that she gets fairness, and if it is that she has been returned to the institution, that there is a vigilance, a care and a concern about her welfare. She's a human being, you know. She has family. She has people who care for her welfare, and we as citizens, fellow citizens, should all care for her welfare. So it's something that is very troubling. And this morning when I heard, you know, we all had concerns and fear as the story has evolved in the public domain that you know, something like this might happen, and we hope that it is something that the people of this country will not allow to continue unless we can be guaranteed that she's treated fairly before the court.
Deemed as the largest general meeting to be held by the RSVG Police Force High Command, newly appointed Commissioner of Police Colin John delivered his maiden address before members of the local constabulary at the organization's first general meeting for 2018 held last Thursday, January 18th. According to the Police Public Relations Department, the meeting was meant to highlight the RSVG Police Force's plans for 2018 and onward in relation to its crime-fighting strategies, training, curriculum, and opportunities, as well as recruitment and other organizational concerns. Nikita Tony tells us more in this report.
As part of efforts to ensure that they deliver the highest level of national security here in SVG, the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force High Command held its first general meeting for the year 2018 last Thursday, January 18th, at the Old Montrose Police Training School to get a common understanding and support of all members as they chart the way forward as a key pillar in the society. According to the Police Public Relations Department, the meeting was attended by officers from various departments within the force, who came out in large numbers to hear addresses from the newly appointed Acting Commissioner of Police Colin John, along with his Acting Deputy Frankie Joseph, and other top-ranking members of the constabulary. In his maiden address, Acting Commissioner John reportedly presented his blueprint for the forward thrust and continuous development of the RSVG Police Force. It was reported that Commissioner John spoke broadly on numerous topics, including the coming into being of a strategic crime plan, a performance appraisal system, the extension of polygraph examinations, improving crime data collection and crime prevention methods, enhancing community policing strategy, and increasing police presence in communities, and the modernization of the curriculum, recruitment, and selection strategy at the police training school. Expressing the view that more than 95% of the constabulary is made up of honest, hard-working, dedicated, and motivated individuals, the Commissioner Acting is said to have pointed out that the organization would be embarking on scientific means to gather information on wayward officers as a means of purging the force and deterring others from following suit. John also told the gathering that the strategic crime plan, which was developed by the Police High Command, is still in its draft stage and will be circulated throughout the police force for their inputs and feedback, with plans to have the said plan implemented by the end of the first quarter. Reiterating his commitment to ensure that a very constructive and productive relationship is forged between the RSVG-PF and the Police Welfare Association, Commissioner John further expressed to the gathering that a committee will be set up to evaluate the performance of officers as part of a new performance appraisal system. Also making remarks at the general meeting was the newly appointed Acting Deputy Commissioner Frankie Joseph, who commended all members of the constabulary for their hard work over the past year and urged them to work harder and smarter in 2018 and beyond. Stressing the need for crime prevention methods to reflect the new paradigms of the 21st century policing, Joseph announced a series of reforms set to take place in the RSVG Police Force as it regards to training and recruitment of new officers. He also spoke of the RSVG Police Force having closer relations with the welfare of the 27 police youth clubs present across SVG. It was further reported that several issues relating to promotions, training, and RSVG Police Force policies were raised by the rank and file in attendance, as they were given the opportunity to make recommendations, highlight issues affecting their jobs, and even ask the Commissioner direct questions. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
Students from schools across SVG are expected to showcase their talents and be rewarded accordingly as they participate in the 2018 ECGC Primary Schools Performing Arts Festival, PRISPAF, which was officially launched earlier today at the National Public Library Conference Room. Today's ceremony heard remarks from officials of the Ministry of Education and the Department of Culture, as well as the festival primary sponsor, the Eastern Caribbean Group of Companies, ECGC and JUICY.
Collaborative effort between the Ministry of Culture and the Ministry of Education, with sponsorship from the Eastern Caribbean Group of Companies, ECGC, JUICY, the Primary Schools Performing Arts Festival, PRISPAF, is designed to showcase the diverse talent of primary level students here in SVG. Speaking at the official launch of the 2018 edition of the festival earlier today, Tuesday, January 23rd, PRIFPAF coordinator Martin Kwashi said the festival seeks to highlight and mold the talents possessed by the nation's youth. Thanking the festival sponsor, the ECGC, and other involved partners for their support, Kwashi expressed hopes to see an even greater display of talent during this year's festival.
We have to make sure that we inculcate in them the discipline that is necessary to go forward into the future. Sometimes when people come to these grand days and they see the talent, they could not believe, do not believe that St. Vincent has so many talent. I mean, I know that. I don't have to say it a million times. Vincies are very blessed with talent. Teachers and the principals out there, I'm telling you to get ready for us. We're soon coming on the island-wide tour because we are going down to the Grenadines as well.
With 56 of the 62 primary schools participating in PRIFPAF 2018, Minister of Culture Cecil Sesmaki commended all students, teachers and parents for their continued support and involvement in enhancing the festival over the years.
So it means therefore that we are missing 6 schools, and the chairperson just wondered how we were going to capture those 6 schools, because I think it's important that we also have them involved in this program and give them the opportunity to showcase the talents of the children. One of the things that we can do to begin with is to ask them to submit a video, whatever recording device they can use, so at least we can see what talent is available. If we just can't reach them, we'll see if we could reach them. But we can see if they could submit something that we can look at.
Given the Ministry of Education's endorsement of the festival, Music Officer Dexter Bacchus called for a greater appreciation of the creative arts here in SVG.
It is with this outlook, we can see the importance of the festival in the overall development of the Vincentian landscape in terms of creativity, culture, and all the other uniquely Vincentian art forms. The Ministry of Education would like also to encourage teachers, parents, and students to view the creative arts not just as an additive subject or secondary discipline, but as a viable career option.
With 2018 marking 4 years since the ECGC began sponsoring the annual event, ECGC representative Lon Holder outlined that the company, through its Juicy brand, will seek to reward students during this year's festivities.
Asking the teachers, the principal, the teachers, and all concerned, the parents, to return 3 clean, empty bottles, preferably juicy, with your name, and to every school that we go, that we are present. When we're there, we're going to have a draw for first prize, a second prize, and a third prize. At the end of the festival, the school with the most entries will get a grand prize.
Preliminary judging for the 2018 ECGC PRIFPAF will run from February 6th until March 7th. 2 grand days are slated to be held at the Methodist Church Hall in the month of March to showcase and record the highlights of the performances by various schools in the preliminary round. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
Vincentians learned more about the importance and use of the breadfruit today as the Ministry of Agriculture, in conjunction with Massey Stores, held an exhibition at the Kingston store today to celebrate 225 years of the arrival of the breadfruit plant to this country. Speaking at the exhibition was Agricultural Assistant Michael Gloucester, who said the breadfruit is a versatile food which can produce several other products. Gloucester said the objective of today's exhibition was to create a greater awareness of the use of the breadfruit among Vincentians.
And the second objective was really for people to see the opportunities that could be derived from adding value to breadfruit, because from the flour we would extend the shelf life of breadfruit, and you can make so much product that if there's a young person or persons who are employed looking for opportunities, they can get into breadfruit as a way of creating employment and generating income. So this activity today, that is our main aim and main focus. We will be having other activities throughout the year, because it wouldn't be a next year like this until about 2050. I may not be around, so we want to just celebrate this entire year with breadfruit.
The agriculture officer used the opportunity to call for more investment and attention to be paid to breadfruit, which he said will aid in developing its currency earning potential.
Because we know breadfruit came here specifically really to address food security, and people within their wisdom over such a long time ago really recognize that. All the other crops came and they met breadfruit here, and we don't manage breadfruit, we hardly do anything for breadfruit, but yet breadfruit still continue to feed us. So I'm saying if we really get together and put effort into breadfruit, we put money into breadfruit, of course breadfruit can really create a significant amount of revenue, and even in terms of the breadfruit too, the product, I'm saying we need to have breadfruit as a brand, and breadfruit's story is well known all over the world, and that is something that we in St. Vincent could really capitalize on it, because we were the first place that it was brought. So we really need to build a brand, and that would be a good thing for our tourism product.
Also speaking at the exhibition was Carrie De Silva, proprietor of Treats by Carrie, who encouraged all to make use of the products made by breadfruit.
I was given the opportunity to experiment with breadfruit flour, and I must say that I am pleased with the outcome in terms of the texture and the taste. In terms of preparation, it's not difficult, it's pretty easy, because it's just a matter of substituting regular flour with the breadfruit flour, which is gluten-free. Breadfruit flour is a healthier alternative, and I think that we should move towards utilizing our local produce and adding value to our products that are available. Thank you.
The breadfruit plant was brought to this country by Captain William Bligh in 1793.